In this video, I'm going to explain the basic rules of how to conjugate regular verbs in the present tense in the Spanish language. Regular verbs always follow a predictable pattern when conjugated. In other words, they follow a regular pattern of changes in their spelling and pronunciation when conjugated. Regular verbs can be used in both the present and past tense. In Spanish, we have three categories of verbs. Verbs ending in AR, like hablar and bailar, to speak and to dance. Verbs ending in ER, like comer and beber, to eat and to drink. And verbs ending in IR, like vivir and escribir, to live and to write. Now let's have a look how to conjugate these regular verbs. First, the pronouns. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted. Nosotros, vosotros, ellos, and ellas. I, you, he and she, the formal you. We, you, and they. Now in Spanish, you conjugate verbs by changing the ending. In order to make the present tense in Spanish, you must use the stem of the word. That's the infinitive minus AR, ER, or IR. And then add the appropriate ending according to the subject. We start with hablar, to speak. Yo hablo, I speak. Tú hablas, you speak. Él, ella, usted habla, he or she speaks, or the formal you. Nosotros hablamos, we speak. Vosotros habláis, you speak. Ellos, ellas hablan, they speak. Comer, yo como, I eat. Tú comes, you eat. Él, ella, usted come, he or she eats, or the formal you. Nosotros comemos, we eat. Vosotros coméis, you eat. Ellos, ellas comen, they eat. Now you'll notice that the endings for the ER verbs are almost the same as the AR verbs, except they use an E and not an A. The first person is the same. And finally, a verb ending in IR, vivir. Yo vivo, I live. Tú vives, you live. Él, ella, usted vive, he or she lives, or the formal you. Nosotros vivimos, we live. Vosotros vivís, you live. Ellos, ellas viven, they live. Now the IR endings are very similar to the ER endings. The only difference are in the nosotros and vosotros forms of the verbs. Some examples. Busco el supermercado. I'm looking for the supermarket. Miguel, ¿sabes dónde está Pilar? Miguel, do you know where Pilar is? Marta trabaja en una panadería. Marta works in a bakery. Comemos churros con chocolate. We eat churros with chocolate. ¿Dónde vivís? Where do you live? Mis padres beben agua. My parents drink water. Now you will have noticed that there's no subject pronoun used in sentences 1, 4 and 5. That's very common in Spanish because you don't need a subject pronoun in order to know who the subject is. The verb forms make clear who is performing the action of the verb. So the use of a pronoun is therefore unnecessary. So now you know that there are three categories of Spanish verbs and how to conjugate them in the present tense.